In the vast river of history, some names don't sink with time. Instead, they grow more mysterious. Tutankhamun is one of them, a pharaoh who died at just 19. Yet, over 3,000 years later, his name still stirs a global storm. The Curse of the Pharaoh. In 1922, a British archaeological team uncovered his tomb in Egypt's Valley of the Kings. It was the first nearly intact pharaonic burial ever found in modern times. Gold, jewels, chariots, statues, everything frozen in time. But behind that ancient sealed doorway, something unseen was awakening. Soon after, strange deaths began haunting the excavation team. Lord Carnarvon, the financial backer of Howard Carter, the man who found the tomb, developed a sudden fever, his body decaying rapidly, and died. And that was just the beginning. Was it all coincidence? Or a warning from an ancient power? Does the curse truly exist? Or is there a deeper message, hidden wisdom beneath it all? In today's video, we won't just talk about death and fear. We'll explore the philosophical meaning behind the curse. Why does it still shake our souls after 1,000 years? And could it be a reflection of our collective subconscious fear of the unknown? Get ready to uncover the buried truth. A soul-stirring conversation across millennia is about to begin. Ancient Egypt, a civilization built upon deserts and mysterious symbols, was never meant for this life. From the very beginning, it was constructed as a vast machine for the afterlife. Every pyramid, every spell, every burial ritual was a code, a blueprint for immortality. Tutankhamun, a young and once forgotten pharaoh, was nearly erased from history. He died around 1324 BC, leaving behind no great battles, no sweeping reforms. Even his tomb lacked the grandeur of other pharaohs, and yet his was the only royal tomb ever found almost completely untouched by grave robbers. And so, 3,000 years later, he returned, captivating the entire world. But the origin of the curse wasn't just myth or rumor. The Book of the Dead, Egypt's ancient funerary scripture, offered a clear warning. Whoever disturbs the rest of a pharaoh, their soul shall fall into eternal darkness. These weren't just threats. They were expressions of a deeply structured cosmic order. To the ancient Egyptians, death wasn't the end. It was a sacred transformation. The body decays. The soul endures trials. Only then could it enter the realm of Osiris, the land of rebirth. The tomb wasn't merely a grave. It was a sanctuary for the soul, a vital anchor holding the balance between this world and the next. To violate such a place was to disrupt that balance. In this light, the curse is not just a supernatural punishment, right, but a backlash of energy, the result of cosmic imbalance. So why does this ancient belief still echo through modern minds? Perhaps that's the true mystery of Tutankhamun's curse. It isn't just a story from the past. It's a mirror, reflecting our fear of death, our ignorance of the sacred, and our trembling before forces we cannot name. And when we reach our hands into the tombs of history, could it be we're touching something that was never meant to be awakened? November 26, 1922. A stone door, sealed for over 3,000 years, was slowly opened. British archaeologist Howard Carter shined his flashlight through a narrow gap. Later, he would utter a line echoed in countless documentaries. "I see wonderful things." But what followed was far from wonderful. Just weeks after entering the tomb, Lord Carnarvon, the British aristocrat who funded the excavation, contracted a mysterious infection in Cairo. His fever soared, his body deteriorated. He died of sepsis, and in the moment of his death, Cairo plunged into darkness, a citywide blackout, as if something had just left this world. That was the spark. From that point on, talk of a curse began to spread. Carter's assistant, his photographer, even a wealthy American who visited the tomb, many would die in strange and unexplained ways. The media ran wild, dubbing it the Curse of Tutankhamun. Even Sir Arthur Conan Doyle claimed the deaths were the revenge of Egyptian spirits. But was it really the supernatural, or something deeper in the human mind? From a psychological perspective, when people approach something marked as forbidden with fear, they unconsciously heighten their sensitivity to the abnormal. A fever, an accident, a coincidence suddenly becomes evidence of a curse. But from a mystical point of view, fear itself is a powerful catalyst. Ancient Egyptian priests believed that fear opens the inner consciousness, creating a direct link between the human mind and the energy field of a sacred site. If that energy was designed for protection or defense, then any intruder, however unintentional, would trigger its backlash. In other words, this wasn't just a personal curse of one pharaoh. It was a spiritual mechanism, carefully designed. The spells, the symbols, even the architecture of the tomb were part of a system meant to guide the awakened soul into the afterlife. To disturb that system, especially by someone uninitiated, would cause the energy to turn chaotic. Death, illness, mental breakdowns were not random. They were signs of an energetic imbalance, and perhaps most chilling of all, some deaths didn't happen immediately. They came years later, like links in a chain of fate that could not be broken. So were these deaths mere coincidence? Or have we truly underestimated how ancient civilizations understood the boundary between death and the sacred? We've always believed we were digging up their history, but maybe, just maybe, they are the ones watching us. When we speak of a curse, we're not just talking about punishment. We're talking about a contract between energy and consciousness. In ancient Egyptian language, a curse wasn't merely a tool of revenge. It was more like a reverse protection mechanism. The inscriptions, reliefs, symbols, and their arrangements inside the tomb, they weren't just decoration. They were precise energy circuits, written not for the eyes of the living, but for the gods and the souls beyond. From this perspective, the so-called Curse of Tutankhamun wasn't vengeance. It was the consequence of an unauthorized opening. When we look at the excavation through modern eyes, we often miss the most important question. Who has the right to open a sacred gate? Howard Carter was a brilliant archaeologist, but he was not an initiated one. In ancient Egypt, only priests who had undergone years of spiritual purification and temple initiation were allowed to approach the body of a pharaoh. Because a tomb wasn't just a corpse, it was a source of cross-dimensional power. It's said that within Tutankhamun's inner sarcophagus, there was an inscription never officially revealed. Its essence, "He sleeps beneath the gate of stars. Let none disturb him. Only those who hold his true name may enter the judgment of light." This speaks to a profound esoteric principle. The true name symbolizes knowing and respecting a soul's essence. If you cannot call forth a soul by its true name, what you awaken may not be the soul, but its echo, its shadow, its fragmented pain. Even more unsettling, descendants of those involved in the excavation have reported strange dreams, visions of the tomb, whispered voices in the night, mysterious illnesses and hallucinations, stories never formally documented, but whispered through family memoirs. It makes one wonder. Perhaps Tutankhamun's curse was never meant as punishment for his intruders, but as a warning to future misusers of consciousness. The closer you move toward the sacred, if your awareness is unprepared, the consequences will multiply. Like opening a book of ancient codes, you think you're reading it, but in truth, it is reading you. Modern society is obsessed with control through science, power, and tools, but we forget the greatest forces are silent, hidden, not meant to be touched. And that is the strange, haunting beauty of Tutankhamun's story. The more science fails to explain it, the more real it begins to feel. The curse of Tutankhamun was never just about an ancient tomb or a series of mysterious deaths. It was a message, a warning from the ancient world. Do not touch what you are not ready for. This is a powerful principle in spiritual practice. The sacred cannot be forced. Consciousness must match the energy it seeks. So, what can we learn from this? First, respect energetic boundaries. In our modern lives, we often enter other people's energetic fields without realizing it, digging into their past, judging their beliefs, or probing mysterious forces out of curiosity. But without the right preparation or reverence, we risk awakening something that was never meant for us. You can take a few minutes each day to build your own energetic shield. Close your eyes. Visualize a golden or white light surrounding you, like the sacred walls of an Egyptian temple. Solid, clear, untouchable. This isn't just meditation. It's a declaration to the universe. I am ready, but I also have boundaries. Second, honor what is sacred. Whether or not you believe in spirits, tombs, or curses, we all carry things in our lives that should not be taken lightly. A deep desire, a childhood wound, the quiet voice of the subconscious. These are your own spiritual tombs. If you choose to dig them up, do so with care. Journaling, dream work, intentional reflection. These are ways to engage your inner ancient energies, but never enter as a conqueror. Approach as a student, as a pilgrim. Third, know when to step back. Like the stillness in those few seconds when Carter first looked into the tomb, the universe always offers a moment of choice. Do you push forward or pause? In a world that glorifies momentum, we forget that some doors, once opened, cannot be closed. So bring that awareness into your daily life. Take a breath before you speak hard words. Sit in silence before big decisions. And when exploring the unknown, ask yourself, is my consciousness truly ready? This is the ancient wisdom of Egypt, speaking directly to our modern lives. The curse of Tutankhamun is not just a chapter in Egyptian legend. It is a silent mirror, reflecting our greed for the unknown, our ignorance of the sacred, and our hidden fear of death. It reminds us, some knowledge must be earned with the soul. Some doors require respect before they allow themselves to open. Humanity often believes it can master all things, solve every mystery. But true wisdom has never belonged to those who rely only on tools and evidence. It belongs to those who dare to sit in the dark and listen to ancient whispers. You may never walk through the Valley of the Kings, but every day you draw closer to a tomb within your own heart. Will you open it, or have you already touched the seal in silence? If today's story stirred something in you, I invite you to share in the comments. Have you ever felt an invisible boundary, and how did you respond? Don't forget to subscribe to this channel as we continue exploring the knowledge buried by time, suppressed by logic, but never truly lost. Because in this world, some answers do not belong to the daylight. They knock, quietly, only at midnight.